Hi out there, Geminis. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life, bringing you your February reading for 2020. I hope you're well. I hope all is well, and I hope everything is going just exactly like how you want it to go. And if it's not, then the other side of you will probably like it. All right, so I will be reading from Manzel B today, the Manzel B Tarot. I will be doing an art of the deck for Manzel B. It is a great deck by a very interesting artist. I'm going to do a short video for February moving on. 15 minutes is my goal for everybody, give or take. Nothing is exactly exact, but and that is just so that we can move them along and I can get everybody's done without having to take up so much time. So we're going to jump right in, and I've already got a couple of cards here. We have the Two of Cups followed by the Justice card. So in thinking about the Two of Cups, we think about balance. Balance is something that comes up often when you're talking about twos. Anytime you have the number two or anytime there's a two card, then you're looking at balance. And here it's in the realm of the emotions. So if you are feeling kind of emotionally out of it, or feeling like, things are going topsy-turvy for you, then I would recommend that you do some meditation. That's always my go-to, especially when you're dealing with issues where you need to bring balance back into your life, because balance is mental. It's an issue if you're feeling out of balance, even if you're physically feeling out of balance, but then also if you're emotionally out of balance or mentally out of balance, then you have to go to the mind. And so what meditation does is it brings the mind down. It brings the mental out so that you can just be clear. And then we have the Justice card. I really love this card because it's the idea that there's a higher force, or there's a force higher than ourselves that sees us, that understands us. And look, there's that two again. So what I'm going to say for you, Gemini, for February is you need to be in meditation, because that is what's going to allow you to tap into this higher spiritual force that understands you, that's trying to reach you, that's trying to connect to you. I mean, when you look at this image, that's what I'm seeing there, that there is, it could be your ancestors, it could be other spiritual entities that are governing you and governing your body, mind, and spirit, that want to touch bases with you. And the only way for that to happen is for you to get somewhere, get still, and get quiet. That's just how it is, If you got noise going on in your brain, you're going to drown out whatever it is the spirit has to tell you. So just get in touch. Get in touch here, and then get in touch there. All right, let's see what else we got for you. Ooh, that one tried to fly. All right, good. Good, it tried to fly. That's the Fool card. Fool card means that there's a new start. There is a fresh perspective. And that fresh perspective is going to be something that you're going to build upon later. It's something that the perspective that you're gaining, like once you do the meditation, once you get into balance, once you get in touch with your spirit masters, then there's going to be this new start, but the new start is going to be about building. I see lots of that going on. It could be physical. When I say physical, I mean actually building something, actually creating something. Or it could also be taking on a new project, or taking on a new task, or advancing on your purpose. So you already may know what your purpose is, but this is something that you've been contemplating anyway, Gemini. It's something that you've been contemplating, but the time is now for you to make that move, right? But not before you do the balance thing, because the balance thing is really important. So we have the Hierophant up next. The Hierophant is the teacher. So there's some information that needs to be imparted to you in the month of February. It's something that's going to open a door for you. You're going to be able to see through to the heart of a situation, or to the heart of your situation, meaning that whatever this is, whatever this new start that you're embarking on, that you've been contemplating, there's some information that's going to come through about that that's really going to push you forward, and it's also going to give you the vision that you need in order to make that project happen or make that thing happen for yourself. So whatever it is that you've been contemplating, whatever it is that you've been having your mind on, the spirits need to speak with you about that specifically. And then when they do, then there's some information that's going to be shared with you about that again is going to push you forward and help you see to the heart of the situation. Because with any new project, I mean, we can come up with 150,000 new ideas, but that doesn't mean that they're either going to be lucrative or that they're going to be beneficial or that there's going to be any kind of longevity to that. So what you want to do is touch base with those spirits so they can guide you in that regards, because you may have the idea but you might not know exactly how it's going to manifest, because quite frankly you can't see that far down the road. You can't see down the road, but there's a higher force that can, and that higher force is what you want to tap into, because the messages that come from that are going to be 10 times better than what you could have come up for yourself. Oh my gosh, I mean, you guys got every major arcana card in the deck this go around. So this is the Hermit. Hermit is about going away, kind of pulling yourself away from the fray and away from everybody else again. So you can see, look at all these eyeballs. There's so many eyes. Seeing. And then these eyes stand out for me too, but these are the eyes of the higher force. So you're going to be seeing through their eyes, not through your own. And that's part of this too. That's a part of balancing this too, because Gemini, you're very highly intelligent people. You all know a lot of information, but there's other information that you need to get from on high that you don't have. And that's where you're stuck. So if you're feeling stuck, or if you have been feeling stuck, that's the reason why you got to get in touch with your spirits. You can't just rely on your own knowledge. Even Google don't have all the information. Okay. All right, so we have four of Wands and the 10 of Wands and the 4 of Wands. 4 is foundation building. I'm seeing connections, family connections, could be camaraderies or people that you're around, but somebody you consider to be, or people that you consider to be your family. It could be your actual family, or it could be your family of choosing. But I'm seeing some burdens and some difficulties around that probably need to be released in February, or it may be that you need to align yourself and connect yourself with those people so that you can release some other burdens. Family dynamics are really interesting because they are the permanent relationships in life. And so when you have that, that means that this journey that you're taking is an extended journey. It started from the time you were born and it's going to keep going. And so some of those situations that you may run into, or problems that you run into with family in particular, are there to kind of advance your script, or kind of advance what it is that you're doing as far as your internal purpose, what your purpose is, and that's by design. So even if it's a difficulty or a struggle or a burden that you're having with your family, it's good to examine that and go in. Again, we've got that look into the heart of a situation here with that. Go to the heart of the situation. Don't be afraid, or not afraid, but don't be resistant. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't be resistant, because sometimes when there are difficulties and challenges and burdens that we're dealing with, we just want to avoid it. That's what we want to do. Let me just avoid it, or let me ignore it. That's really not the idea. The idea is to create the alignment, to realign yourself with those folks, even if it's just to clarify, or to release, or to express, or to say what it is that you needed to get off your chest. So even if it's about that, it's still important to reconnect. All right, we've got the Chariot, which says there's some movement happening. I feel like the movement is happening. But the first order of business, I can't stop going back to this. First order of business is bring the balance, because the balance, it's what's going to make all of this and this, right, and this moment make sense. So after that is when the movement happens, and the chariot represents movement. Okay, I don't know if you can see this well, but the chariot represents movement. This person is sort of on some kind of throne, which is a vehicle. I see this image of like a light being coming from the top, or either being emitted or something to that effect. So there's so much potential. There's a vast amount of potential here in what you had been contemplating. There's a lot that you can do, and there's a lot to build from, but it's just first things first. That's all. It's just first things first, because if you don't make this connection right here, if you don't allow yourself to be in that listening space, then it's not that you can't do it, it's just going to make it harder. Or it could be that whatever your idea about it is, Spirit's idea is much bigger, and so they need to guide you through it, because it's probably not, the way to go about it may not be something that you're accustomed to doing, or you might have the type of personality or what have you that's like, well, I'm going to do it this way, but I'm not going to do it in this way, in the other way. And then the other way is the way that might really grow you, and also might grow whatever project it is that you're working on. So just be in a listening mode, Gemini. We've got the Queen of Wands here. So if we take the gender out of the situation and just look at the Queen for what she represents, and in this case, she represents being clear, one, having the sight and the foresight, and also the connection, the bigger, grander, I don't want to say grander, but the bigger picture, or the deeper still connection is what I like to call it. You have a deeper connection, which is going to come from this, which is going to come from your meditation and your connection with Spirit, so that you can move freely and move forward, and intuitively as well. So the Queen and the King, both in the deck, are rulers, so they represent some level of authority, some level of knowledge, or a higher knowledge. But the Queen's position is really in a listening mode, again, in a more not an aggressive, but a more receptive mode. So you're really wanting to receive the information that is coming through Spirit, but not just to just receive and listen, but so that when you are moving forward on this new adventure, or in this new venture, you'll be able to take some valuable energy, or a valuable information, and the right energy with you, so that you can expand whatever it is that you want to expand. And the Queen of Wands, for me, represents a confidence, not just any kind, not arrogance, confidence in what you know, and also the ability to just to exude that without having to say it. You know how some people, they talk about it, but they don't be about it. So this is more like the be about it energy. Definitely more about the be about it energy. All right, let's see what else we have here for Gemini. We got a couple more minutes, so we'll see what else we have for the month of February for Gemini. All right, we have the Nine of Swords here. So again, with this Nine of Swords, and with the burden basket, the 10 of Wands, I'm just saying that, again, that there are some things that you may feel encumbered by, or that you feel like you can't, you're trying to work through it, or what have you. It may be something that you feel that it's binding you up, or keeping you in a certain place, or you're struggling with it and you don't know how to get out of the struggle. This just goes back to Justice again. Meditate, listen, clear your mind, Go to the quiet space. Don't be afraid to go to the quiet space. Accept that there are things that you are trying to learn, that you are in a learning mode in February. Not so much like being able to tout off or spout off about what it is that you do or don't do, or how how you roll and how much you know and all of that kind of stuff. It's not about that. It really is about listening and being obedient to spirit and just doing what it is the spirit asks you to do during the month of February. So if this resonates with you and you want to take a deeper dive, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. And as always, I hope you have a great February and you're having a wonderful life.